Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel R2S News and Updates. मेरा नाम हिमलता
और मैं नबीना।
So guys, कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? I hope कि आप सब बहुत ही अच्छे होंगे। आज हम लोग जिस पे रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं वो है बियर बाइसेप्स के वीडियो पर, which is मेजर विवेक जेकब ऑन आर्मी सर्वाइवल स्पेशल फोर्सेस माइंडसेट एंड मोर। ये है रणवीर शो। सो गाइज, इसका पार्ट 1 हम लोग ऑलरेडी रिएक्ट कर चुके हैं। पूरा पॉडकास्ट हम लोग 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर रहे हैं। पार्ट 1 हम लोग ऑलरेडी रिएक्ट कर चुके हैं, ये पार्ट 2 है। तो सो गाइज, पूरा वीडियो एंड तक देखिएगा। अच्छा लगे लाइक कर देना, शेयर कर देना, सब्सक्राइब कर देना हमारे चैनल को। और
ओरिजिनल वीडियो की लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी, वो जगह लो फटाफट चेकआउट कर लो। लेट नहीं करते, लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड।
एंड गाइज, हमारे और 2 रिएक्शन चैनल्स भी हैं जिसका भी लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी। वो वहां पे भी जाओ, वो वीडियोस देखो, एंजॉय करो एंड जरूर से सब्सक्राइब करना एंड लाइक भी करना। चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं।
स्टार्ट।
Could you highlight the circumstances that actually caused the segregation? Like, what does the training school put you through? Like, just a few, if you may.
So it's a dual process. So special forces stand for efficiency. It's the highest form of efficiency that a human being can achieve in this reality. Above this, maybe it is the yogis or whatever, you know. When you come into this environment, you are put into a dual process of being broken down, shattered, torn apart, right? And being trained as well. It has to be efficient because ज़्यादा time नहीं है ना, चल रहा है ऊपर काम. So we need guys, tuck, 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 come like that. Or you fucking get out from here. You know, it's like that, tuck, tuck, right? So you are being trained and you are being broken down as well at the same time. So in this process of being trained and broken down at the same time, you are taught certain skill sets, right? You're taught certain skill sets that you need to be able to execute in combat. For example, there may be explosive training, there will be unarmed combat training, there may be weapon training, there may be endurance training, there may be navigation training. There are a lot of things. Emergency medical first response training, you know, survival training, etc., etc., etc. You're being trained, and you are being trained while being broken. Yeah. So, for example, when your day starts, if you're lucky, your day starts around 4:30. Otherwise, if you're unlucky, your day started yesterday. You have not slept, and that could be like couple of days in a stretch. So, for example, I'll tell you,
days, huh?
I have a bad memory, you know. Maybe that's why I'm so happy. So I have a bad memory and all that, and I was always like poor in GK, you know, like I had no interest, like things like that, in who is president and who is what. It's not my purview of things that are affecting me, right? And
Okay.
when I came in, so the whole day till 7:30 in the evening, you are being taught and you're being screwed, right? You are being very screwed to the inch of your body choice, right? Constantly. And if it's over, it's over. Like people just get up and sign and get out. It finishes off that quickly. There is no maybe, you know, one more chance or something like that. So when you are, you know, the whole day going through that whole thing, and 7:30 in the evening, you're broken off. That okay, go have your dinner or whatever it is, and then you know, people go and prepare and all that. So you're basically doing probation with the soldiers. So officers, soldiers, whatever, everyone is together. You live together, you eat together, you train together. Everything is happening together. So you go through this entire set of experiences till 7:30 in the evening or 8 o'clock or whenever it is on that particular day, and you're broken off, generally broken off, to go and prepare for the next day, eat your dinner, you know, make your diet, and you're, you know, making stuff that can go in and give you energy and recover what you have lost and prepare you for the next day. So 7:30 they would be broken off, and I was the only officer doing probation there, right? So I would have to go to the officers' mess. It's the officers' mess where the real probation would start. So all the bachelors of my particular unit would be there for dinner, and it was compulsory for me to go there and have dinner. And I would reach there half an hour early, and I would be told, you know, I had to learn everything which is there in the mess over decades. There are so many trophies and there are so many, you know, memorabilia and so many things which are there. You have to learn each and every damn thing. Who gave it? When did he give it? Why did he give it? what is the significance of it, etc. Each and every, there are
मतलब
hundreds
पूरा
of pieces
याद
lying
करना
around there,
पड़ता है.
right? And then there are these people who have died in combat, right? Like Sudhir Walia, Arun Singh Jasrotia, the various legends of our battalion who died in
सब
combat.
कुछ याद
right?
करके रखता है,
So
रखना पड़ता है.
their stories are there in the officers' mess. You should see it sometime, and then you have to learn why, who was he, when did he, get shot up, how did he die, and what was he awarded for, and things like that. So all of that you have to memorize, and learn and learn and learn. And then by the time everybody comes for dinner, and then you sit, and then the question answers start.
Wow.
Yeah. So they'll start asking you, okay, and it can start from anything. It can start from like you're like what used to happen to me is like I would start putting like you're hungry, the whole day it's been torn out of you, and you need that bloody food going into your body. So then the first spoon is going into your mouth, and somebody will just say, Jacob, what is the moon phase today? And there, sorted. So they'll start asking you questions to check your level of awareness and so many other things in which I used to fail all the time. I didn't know.
खाना भी अंदर
Jack
जाने
shit.
नहीं देंगे.
What is the moon phase? Who is the president? Who is nothing? I knew nothing. Right, and
If you answer wrong, what happens?
you're lying. Either you know or you don't know. That's it.
So if you don't know and you say you don't know,
Yeah, so that's what I started doing. I would just keep saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So they'd ask one question, I'd say, I don't know. Then they'll look here, there in extreme disgust that this guy doesn't even know this. Like that, like that, like that. So they'll keep asking, keep asking, keep asking, keep asking. And you know that this is all piling up, right? And then they'll just say, you need to learn and all. So they'll tell you, okay, do one thing, half an hour guard check, whole night. So every half an hour, you're circling the battalion, the whole battalion. There are a certain number of checkposts, radar, there's moving patrols, and all. There's a very high level of security going on. So you're circling the whole battalion, the whole night. Every half an hour, you have to take one circle. And then in the morning at 5 o'clock, there's going to be a PD fall-in, and at 5:30, there's going to be a battle preparatory endurance test go, where you will be competing with all those guys who broke off at 7:30 last night, and they were like cooking, meat and this and that, and eating almonds and whatnot and all of that, and they have slept, and they are going to be running alongside you, and you better be number 1, 2, or 3. Ideally 1 or 2. So if you don't come 1, 2, or 3, you're out.
Oh
brother.
my God.
You can't make excuses that I didn't sleep last night, and everybody knows you have not slept last night, but you will yet perform. Because you have to lead these people in combat. You have to lead the men in combat. In special forces, you don't lead by position of your rank or whatever. There is no authority in combat. When the shit is flying and death is like constantly zipping around you, like that, there is no authority. There is no captain, major, colonel, brigadier. Frickin' no one. There's just you and the people who are there with you. And what are you going to do right now? That is what decides leadership there. That is what either keeps it all together or everything is destroyed. So that's what is checked. Yeah. So like that you go through a process. And then again the next day, and then again the next day, and then again the next day. Like that. 6 months.
बहुत
it's a
स्ट्रगल
little intense,
करना पड़ता
honestly,
है.
to say the least. But so like you get through this process, and from what I hear, it's a lot about breaking through all the layers, getting to the core. And the process of breaking those layers, some people's cores break, and those are the ones that leave. And the ones who are left with that pure core,
They become more powerful.
what do you mean?
Well, now you have realized yourself. Now you know what you are. You just look back at what you have gone through for this long period of time, and then you realize
सही
that
बात है.
nothing is impossible. Nothing. So that's the kind of realization which is the chief weapon of a special forces operator who knows it. That all this I have gone through, now you just like whatever, man, whatever. Yeah.
Like they say that while you're training, you should train, for the worst case scenario, so that when you're actually in the practical scenario, it's not the worst case scenario because you've already gone through the grueling time in your training.
whole process.
Combat is touch and go. Actually, no training can match combat. No training can match
And
combat.
do you feel that combat also continues your training process?
Of course. It's like a painter who hasn't painted. If a special forces soldier has, you've gone through NDA, you've gone through IMA, you've gone through a lot of shit in life, you volunteered, you got into, reached the battalion, gates of hell, and you reached there and you've gone through a process of 6 months of bloody getting screwed up and this, that, and all that, and then you have not seen combat or you've seen very less of combat, you're not there. So combat, tears you up even further. Combat actually places you at the right mindset. And the more you see combat, the more you see this. What is combat? Combat is life, death, life, death, life, death. Duality at its cutting fucking edge. That's combat, right? So when you're constantly on that cutting edge and choosing to be there, you're evolving.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Right.
it can just keep getting intense and intense. And what happens after a
जितना
certain
भी
period
training
of
कर लो,
time,
practical real
depending on what your level of consciousness is, where you already were, so you are able to predict, you're able to feel it. Like after a certain point, like I used to tell my guys that aaj kuch hone wala hai, something's going to happen today. I've felt like I've known that something is going to happen. I've told. Yeah.
Intuition.
Yeah. The intuition becomes so powerful that it's there in your head, in thought. It comes from intuition, it turns into thought and turns into action. It's like that. You're there, you can see it.
I just want to highlight
जितना
one
भी
thing
training
to the
कर लो,
audiences,
real
that this
में
skill
जब
of
होता
intuition
है,
that you develop through the course
वही
of your journey.
काम आता है.
Suppose you end up going away from the army and try doing something after your army tenure, you apply that intuition in your second innings as well. And I've seen this with you, Captain Raghu. Just y'all are taking your experience from the army and applying it in the real world to make the real world a better place. But I'd still just like to highlight combat a little bit again. So, do you remember the first time you went into combat? And you don't have to tell us where it was, what happened, but I'd love to know what the man in you was thinking. Was it just excitement? Was it aggression? Was it, again, did efficiency come to the top and were you very duty based? Were you in a state of flow?
Good question.
So I remember my first combat experience. I remember everything I did in the special forces, every damn thing. So what happened? So when I went into combat the first time, I was taken after my probation, blah, 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 got selected, became a, got into the lowest rung of the special forces team that was operating. And I was sitting on top of a mountain and we were supposed to go down into a place, into a very deep ravine with a very, very, very jagged terrain. And we had to hold ground on top and we had to go down and do what we had come there to do. So I was supposed to sit with the radio set and listen. What my team commander told me, my team commander was a very, 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 very experienced and very balanced person in combat. So he told me that, Jacob, you do one thing. This radio set that you have, you sit right there on top of that mountain. And he was also sitting, some distance away from me on top of that mountain. He was controlling the entire combat operation going on there. He was watching and controlling and getting feed from all the squads which are out there. And I was also sitting and he was sitting about maybe 20, 30 meters in the forest on the other side. And he told me, you listen to the cricket match. You listen and learn. That's what he told me. I keep sitting there. See what happens. So I was sitting and waiting. And then the two squads which are going down for the hit, they were passing by just next to me. Yeah, they were going down. 6 and 6. So they were going down and I saw I was watching them go down. And I knew, fucking, they're going for combat right now. They're going to experience right now. And the last guy was going and I just told my buddy, I'm also going, bye-bye. And I went down behind the last guy. So I went down and reached the point of where the contact was supposed to happen. So I reached there and I informed my team commander that, sir, I am here now. So he said, okay. Obviously, there is no extracting me back from there now because the contact is going to happen now, right? So he let it be.
Yes.
It was my choice. So, and then first first contact, first hit, that's how I experienced it. I chose it. Yeah.
But when the bullets started flying and the bomb started exploding, what was in your head? Years of training?
No, pure instinct. Pure instinct. It's pure instinct.
Your body just works by itself.
Yeah. See
instinct
how what
mein-
happens is, like I said, they're breaking it down, yet they're training you as well. So, for example, so naturally, I was a good marksman. I was like pretty good with a weapon. From childhood, like my father's taught me, I've been cleaning various kinds of weapons, opening them up, cleaning them up, using them, etc. From a child. Like from class 2, 3, I've been handling pistols and things like that, filling in ammunition and things like that
Class
at
2,
home on
3.
a dining table and all. So I had a lot of experience with weapons. And if you want to call it DNA or whatever, so my father was like a national shot. He could write his name with a pistol. Yeah. And
Oh, wow.
so that experience was there probably in my DNA or whatever. And then I landed up in 9 Para Special Forces. And then, when I entered that gate, like I said, they straight away took us to the armory where the weapons are kept. And they opened the gates of the armory and said, pick up your weapons. And they were all live weapons, dummy weapons. All live weapons. And they told us that these weapons are going to stay with you for as long as you are here in this battalion. And once you clear your selection, then you can, there are other things that you can be exposed to. But this is your baby. This is part of your body. It doesn't go away from you. So then you're handed. That's the first thing that happened to me. They gave me a bloody AK-47. Like they opened it up and I chose an AK-47. Now I had certain understanding of weapons, so I chose a particular weapon. That weapon for 6 months was stuck to my body. Where if I was eating, it was on my lap. If I was rolling, it was between my knees. If I was sleeping, it was tied to me. If I was shitting, I was holding it. And it was constantly 6 months that that weapon became a part of my body. It was like with me, stuck with me. Because if it separates from you, the whole unit is waiting for that weapon to separate from you. They'll break you down so much that you'll get confused and you lose the weapon for a minute, 2 minutes. If it's away from you, they'll take out the
वो भी टेस्ट
moving
हाँ
parts.
हाँ,
You will
उसका
not
भी
even
test.
realize that the firing pin is gone. You realize it when you go for firing and you go click and no bullet comes out, you realize the bloody firing pin is gone. And if that goes, you are gone. You're told to leave. You're given some beer, drink beer,
Okay.
happy, no hard feelings, and bye-bye, buddy. So it's like that. So because those 6 months that damn thing was with me, it became so much of a part of my body that wherever I would point my finger, the damn bullet would go there only. So in the first contact, it's a flash. Most contacts are a flash, right? There is no intense, prolonged battles going on. We don't want to get into prolonged battles and all, right? We want to just go there and finish it off. Go in, hit, smash, out, right? So when that first contact happened, it was an instinct. Seedha, trak. It was like that. There was no, shist milayenge and we will put foresight, backside and whatnot, and you will take deep breath and this, that, and pull trigger slightly and all that. It's not like that. It's just
उसका
like
time
that.
ही नहीं है
It
उसके
finishes
लिए.
like that.
Efficiency comes to the forefront.
Yes.
उस टाइम पे तो वो तो बॉडी
Muscle
पार्टी हो
memory.
चुका है
Confidence coupled with muscle memory. So if you take sports shooters, right? People who are shooting for sport, right? Air pistols, rifles, big bore, etc., whatever it is. Even like your skeet and trap or whatever that you are into. What happens is that you are capable of a human body and the human mind is capable of photocopying each and every action. It's capable of that, right? And these are very controlled environments. The AC is on, there is no sound, nobody is disturbing you, you are at the right temperature, you've eaten the right kind of food, you've slept well, etc., 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 etc. So that when you go into and you're able
That's
to
right.
repeat the same 10, like that, right? Combat is not like that. So,
बहुत अलग है.
you're in combat, it's all chaos. So in that entire chaos, if you can, in that one flash, you have to hit a bloody 10, man. Because if you don't hit a 10, there is going to 10 bullets going to come towards you. Burst will come. There are no single bullet coming towards you. It'll come like a fucking wave. Boom, like that. It'll come like that. And so you don't want that happening, right? So instinctively, you reach that level of survival and exploration where you go. It's one shot. One shot is a 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to speak of the most difficult mission you had to face through your tenure? Just a bit of it, like, or what you found, to be challenging.
Yeah. Only one. And I'll tell you what was challenging about it. But I enjoyed my life in the special forces. Constantly evolving, no? Constantly at the cutting edge.
And every combat situation is new. And it
Yeah,
teaches
yeah,
you
yeah.
something.
Like for every day, every day, circumstances are different. The people you meet are different. Things that happen to you are different. The different food that you eat, etc., etc. There's variety in life. Similarly, in combat, there's no combat situation is the same. None whatsoever. And in my case, what I got to experience was I've never had the good fortune of sitting and waiting and in a perfect situation where you just go cluck 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 and it's over. It's never happened like that with me. What has happened with me is that I have reached a certain place, reached there, and then things have played. Like all my contacts that I've had are moving contacts, moving flashes, finish, like that. Prolonged battle as like very few times where something prolonged into something. And it's like, so the most challenging thing I ever found was when one of my guys got injured. But that was the calmest I've ever been. I was able to extract that man from death. It was, when I say I mean my team. We were a very small team, very few guys, heavily laden with combat gear and all the things that you need in various kinds of situations that may come up during combat. You're not going to get a chance to go home and, oh, I forgot this, I'll get that. Not happening, brother. So what does happen is that years and years of experience. At that point where you've been able to calculate every damn thing and reach that situation as prepared as you can be in equipment, in training, in mindset, in experience, and etc. All of that crunched into that, 4 or 5 minutes or 1-2 minutes or whatever. So we were in a very, 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 very difficult place, and guys blew up, and yeah. It was like I was looking at that guy and I was thinking, no, he's dead. He's going to die right in front of my eyes. We are like brothers. Because in combat, like I said, there is no major, captain, colonel, brigadier, all that doesn't exist there. What exists in combat is love.
Is love.
Yes. I love my men. I used to love them. It's love. Only love can penetrate like that. Nothing else. Only love can be that efficient. Yes. So it's that love which forms after trust. Trust comes before love. So then the love comes, and then with that love vibration, you can fucking penetrate anything. So at that point of time, when I was seeing this guy, and what a guy, man. What a guy. Like his like ankle below was gone. There was space there. And then his 1 foot, which had basically blown up, there was only one bone. There's the bone of the longest toe, there was no flesh on it. There was just a bone, and which had broken and like a hook, and there was nothing else there. And this guy was like, he had his hands behind his back like this. We extracted him in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I'd formed a protective circle around him. And we were like pumping him with morphine. We were pumping him with IV. We had put in IV. We had put in tetanus. We'd bandaged the wound. He was spurting blood like a machine. Every time he would pump, he would spray blood like that. And within 5 minutes, we had sorted him out. We had brought the blood down to a trickle, and we had administered what was needed to be done. There was no doctor there. It was just us. So we are trained to be able to handle something like that. And then it goes into instinct. And only love can actually get something out like that. So that guy had such fucking balls on him. He was He was like this, and he was just looking at his foot like that, just looking. He wasn't saying anything, and I was just looking. If this guy starts screaming right now, because he's staring death in the face, he is so calm. He knows he's going to die now. He knows it. So while we were doing that, I was looking at him. What is he going to do? When is he going to start screaming? He did not scream. So while we were doing it,
Oh
and then
my
there was a
God.
little piece of his heel which was hanging off. So we were trying to put it back on the bone, and then trying to bind it up, because it will be needed later when he it'll become a stump. So the stump can take the prosthetic, right? So we were just putting that heel back so that he has some cushioning and all later on in life. And he was just looking like that, and that's when he opened his mouth and he said that, "Isko kaat ke fek do."
Oh
So
my
basically,
God,
just
कैसे?
chop it off and throw it away. Just do it, whatever you're doing. So we told him, and just did what we had to do. And at that point of time, so at that point it had taken us like 48 hours to reach there down a jagged mountain. We had fixed ropes and whatnot to reach there. But then to fucking pull him out from there, it has taken us 2 nights of climbing down. And this guy is going to die very, very soon. He knows that there is no way humanly possible for him to reach medical attention, the kind of emergency medical attention he requires right now. But we did it.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a guy who was, we were like laden with, I was carrying about 35 kgs as a team commander, right? So imagine what all of us were carrying. And when we started, like, we did not go like this, like that or something. Just straight away, like that, we went like that, like a fucking rocket. Sida just fucking picked him up, surrounded him. There was a guy on my team, a very young guy. And he was like a big man. And he was relatively new. And it was his like first combat experience and all. That's what I'm talking about, love. So he just lifted that guy on his back, right? Just lifted that guy on his back and said, "I'll climb." And we needed that. We needed that at that point because of various reasons, blood flow, blah, blah, blah.
And there's probably enemies around.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, there are enemies around and they know what's up. So they're hunting you now. So you have to get out. Not because you're afraid or anything of combat. That's what you've come here for. We're like, bring them on, man. We were fucking like that. Bloody, 6 of us, if we were at that stage, if we got surrounded by whoever, it would take them 1 year to kill us. 1 year. Unless they bloody bombed the area. That level. So, when this guy picked him up,
क्या बात है?
Let's call him A.
Mind
so
blowing.
A picked up the guy who had blown off his leg. This guy started saying, no, put me down, I'll walk and go. That's what he was saying.
Oh my.
His leg is gone, like his ankle below gone. And he's saying that, no, you put me down, I'll walk and go. I'll carry my weapon. He was carrying his IV bottle in one hand, in which he was getting IV fluid inside his body. And he was carrying his weapon. He was saying, no, I'll walk. So I had to tell him, brother, please climb on his back. So he said, okay, let it go. So he climbed on his back and we were going, and there was this huge rock in that nala where this guy put his foot on to climb up, and that huge rock like rolled onto his shin bone. And he just sat down, and the guy who was carrying the other fellow, he just sat down, caught his foot like this, and like about 30-40 seconds he was like this, and then he got up and told him, you climb again. And we started climbing, and we had him extracted by 3:30 a.m. in the morning. I had him on the fucking helipad, man. And he was out, and then, whatever. So that was pretty intense, yeah. So that particular situation, like it was so much of intense hard work and planning and guts and balls and fucking whatnot had gone into being there at that point of time. And it was a long plan, days and days of stretch there in that position. And on the 5th day, in the morning, I started getting a feeling of dread. It's the first time I felt dread in combat. I've never felt dread or fear or anything. Just there's no mind space for all of that. You are in combat and you start feeling fear, you're not going to get out of your life. And it's a natural body instinct, fight or flight. So you're in the fight mode, man. So at that point of time, on that fifth day, and we had long stretch ahead of us, on that fifth day, in the morning, and I was just thinking, and this dread started building. And by around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, I wanted to get out from there. I wanted to leave that. And I just kept thinking, in 12 years, this is the first time I want to leave combat. I don't want to be here. I want to get out. Why? So I was thinking, trying to use my mind to understand what am I feeling. So it was so fucking intense, right? You can't ignore it. You can't suppress it. That kind of dread was coming in. So I was thinking, why is this? It had never happened to me before. Before, all the intuitions I had was that like something is going to happen and I've gone in to take it, right? But this was, I wanted to get out. So I was thinking, why? So I was thinking, maybe what do I want to get back to? I want to get back up there where there'll be a warm blanket and there'll be some rum to drink and there'll be some chicken to eat and all of that because it's starving and all of that, right? So I was thinking maybe I've become lazy. I've become lazy in my head. I've spent so much time in this thing and now I'm becoming like the other guys who left because they couldn't handle it anymore. So I've become like that. I'm becoming lazy. That's why I want to go. So I told fucking no way. I'm not going back for that reason. So I stayed put. But the dread kept becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the first time I smoked in combat. I couldn't help it. I just pulled out a fucking cigarette. To suppress that dread, it had reached such a bloody level. You can't tell that to the other guys sitting around you. Because you're leading them. So it was just, I was processing inside and thinking. And I think by around 4:30 in the evening, I was like, I had pressed my radio set button and I was going to tell the other guys, we were like 2 squads out, right? I was going to tell the other squad, extract, get out, come to me and we'll get out from here. I'd pressed the switch and I was going to pass and I left it. I decided at that point, no, I'll see this through. I'm not going from here because I couldn't understand why I want to get out. So I just crushed that feeling of wanting to get out and stay put. And around like 20-25 minutes later, boom. And then like 5 minutes of radio silence. So I knew some shit has gone bad. Various permutations, combinations came in my head. There were people, my own squad guys telling me, open the radio, ask them what's up, what's happened. I knew shit has hit the fan. Like the guy who's leading that squad, right? I was leading 2 squads. So the guy who's leading that squad, that small team. So I was waiting for him. 5 minutes I waited sitting on the radio, waiting for him because I knew he's in chaos right now. He's in fucking chaos right now. And the last thing he fucking needs to hear from me is what the fuck is going on. He'll fucking handle it, yeah. That's what he's been trained for. And at the end of the day, either God is walking with us or not, yeah. We'll find out, right? We'll see. So 5 minutes, I just waiting. And he came on the radio and told me, shit has hit the fan, guy's blown his leg. So then you cannot lose another guy because you will not be able to extract. Because then the load will become too heavy. So you cannot have another casualty, trying to extract another casualty. So we did certain things after that, at that point of time. And that was a situation that you're not taught. You see it, experience it. So that heart, that confidence in love and the skill sets and your experiences, all of that crunched together gives you fucking clarity like nobody's business. And with that clarity, you're able to go in and then face what is there. And in that particular case, we were able to successfully extract the guy. Yeah.
Whenever I talk to someone from the army, like the 2 things that really stick out for me are leadership and brotherhood.
Yes.
You spoke about a sense of love.
ये हम लोग भी
That's what
सुना
I
है.
think triggered this whole situation even within your mind. So what have you learned about leadership, sir, through that tenure? And I'd also love to ask you that you said that while there's no hierarchy in combat, I'm sure that through the course of multiple combat situations, some people come out as the leaders. So how are they collectively chosen? Who's chosen as that guy who says that, okay, here's what we'll do?
I'll
And
tell
how do
you.
you create that listening ability?
I'll tell you. So, what did it teach me about leadership? Is that what you asked me?
Yes.
Leadership is about responsibility. It's about the man who can take on that
Right.
responsibility. It's as simple as that. It starts with that, right? So, there is pre-combat, there is combat. There is no post-combat. Post-combat is only analysis of all the shit that you have done. But pre-combat is preparation for combat, and then there is combat. Both require extreme amount of leadership skills, because your life is your life. When I say my life, means my team, my life, right? Is dependent on me, and you're wearing some funny ranks and all that. So that is supposed to be placing you in a position of responsibility. But in a way, it is easy to lead a special forces team because all of them are bad motherfuckers. They're fucking good. So, and they all love, no? That's the only way you can survive there. If you love each other only, that's the way. Otherwise, you will fail. And if you fail, you will pay the price in blood. So it's like that. So leadership is a responsibility. It's simple as that. Those people who can take on that kind of responsibility are natural leaders. They are in the vibration of leadership, if you want to call it, right? But you're also constantly following things also at that point of time. But you're calling the shots, right? Ultimately, you are listening, following, thinking, analyzing, all of that freaking going on. And then you're calling the shot that this is what we're going to do. Right?
You're right.
So, and you have to trust.
यही होता है
So
leadership
leadership
का
is about
quality.
responsibility, being able to take on responsibility and being able to fucking trust yourself to take on that responsibility. Right? It's not that,
Sahi
you'll lose
baat.
some money or, you'll break some friendship or some shit like that. You'll fucking die. If you die, it's all well and good. Your Maya is over. But then the rest of the guys, if somebody else dies, you are going to sit here and watch his children weep and his children go through various things, and you'll miss him and things like that. And you will judge yourself. Why? So all those things, So during combat is like a purification. It's like titration, Only those who can lead, who have got all it takes to lead at that point of time, when chaos has hit you, smashed you, right? Smashed everything that you had planned and just smashes into you. Chaos begins. At that point of time, you have to be bigger than that chaos. And the only thing that is bigger than that fucking chaos is the fucking trust you have in yourself and all
Yes.
all that life has put you through,
Bilkul.
and then finally being able to throw it all in that moment. Be more chaotic than fucking chaos. That's what's going to get you through. So at that point of time, especially like in combat and all, like we don't wear ranks and all those things. So we don't wear ranks. We don't wear. If you'd seen me in combat, you'd be confused. Who the fuck am I? Right? Like that. So to give you an example, so when I was very young, when I was very young in combat, at that point of time, we were penetrating into a place heavily infested, and we were penetrating deep inside to hit some particular target. And we were on the side of a mountain, and we were going on the mountain track like that at night. Must have been around 8:30, 9:30 at night. And it was a naked mountain. Basically, there was no undergrowth, no trees, no cover, no rock, nothing. It was just grass like that and like that. And we were going like this. The whole team there, in which I was like a new guy. And, special forces guys can be pretty ruthless if you interact with them. They will ridicule you, they will make fun or whatever, it's like that, depending on the kind of personality you're coming across, right? And the soldiers and all, they will not give you your respect because you're just wearing a lieutenant or a captain or whatever it is there. They will give you respect when they respect you. It's like that. When they fucking their heart feel respect for you, that is when they will respect you. Otherwise, they will not respect you. And in combat, respect is the most important tool to be to be able to execute that combat situation, that chaotic motherfucking situation, with precise efficiency. Because respect will keep everything together. And love in a slightly higher format. But love takes time, right? So when we were going down
Right.
up that side of that mountain like that, there was a huge like nala below us, and then there was the other mountain on the right side. And suddenly a whole like machine gun fire started on us. Accurate machine gun fire. Like you have to like hear it to experience it, to understand how chaos comes out of the darkness. Just
All of a
boom.
sudden, huh?
Accurate
my God.
fucking buddy, this big motherfucking bullets coming at you, man. Bouncing off all over the motherfucking place at night. So the whole team, I was in the lead group, and the whole team went down. Whole team went down into the ground. And there was no space to hide. There was no space to hide. But we were like, you just find that fucking space, man. Like, the fucking quarter centimeter, you'll get into it, right? And I was just, it had just started, and I was just looking. I was also down. All of us were down. I just looked ahead, and there's 2-3 guys ahead of me, and I looked behind. Whatever, till where I could see. I could see whole column down. And it's just started like 2 seconds into combat, right? 2 seconds into being ambushed. We were ambushed. So 2 seconds into that, and I just thought at that point of time that the man who stands now and returns fire, he's the leader. The man who stands now in that fucking hail of fucking machine gun fire, who stands now and fucking gives it back, because that's the only way you can stop that. Otherwise,
Yes,
they'll
right.
keep fucking, they have no endless ammunition. And soon,
Right.
rocket launchers will come, and soon a lot of other shit is going to follow.
Yes.
Right? So the man who stands now is the fucking leader of this group. So I stood up and I started fucking firing back. And as I was firing back, and I started seeing people started standing and fucking firing back, giving fucking shit back. And that's how we controlled that situation.
Wow.
Yeah. That's leadership.
So you gotta earn the respect.
There's no earning and all. Yeah, it is just who you are. Yeah, it's simple as that. You don't have to earn respect. You don't have to do anything but be yourself here. That's all.
Right.
When chaos hits
Right.
around you, if you can center in, the more chaos, the more centered, the more efficient, the more chances of getting out alive with everyone. All the people you love, you can get all of them out. It's like that.
Right.
So you also told me this other really intense thing for me, which is that in all your missions, you've not seen casualties to the extent where, I don't think you've taken a bullet yourself also. You've not had a bullet injury.
Nothing. Nothing.
Has there been a hand of God over your head? Or is it training? Is it good leadership? Is it being aware?
It's a choice. Ultimately, it's a choice. And it's a choice you make, and the circumstances will be as such. But you will be tested, brother. You'll be tested.
What do you mean, sir?
So like I said, there is no, easy combat situation that I was like,
Right.
I had the good fortune to experience, where I would just be, things would just
Right.
happen, and I'd just press the fucking trigger and it's all over, and we just collect what we have come to collect and move off. It's never been like that. All chaos has hit. Every fucking time chaos has hit, right? Till the point of penetration, till the point of fucking contact, smooth, hot knife through butter, right? But at that point, explosion, contact, chaos, right? Through that chaos, never lost a guy, never got hit. No one got hit, ever, in 9.5 years, right? And the first time, when this situation where this guy blew up his leg, that's the point. Is the only mistake, or you want to call it whatever you want to call it. It's perception, but yeah, that's it. That was it. So yes, never taken a bullet. Had enough of fucking bullets fired at me. I've had fucking weapons shoved in my face. I've been surrounded by enemy. I opened my hands like this and looked at him in the fucking eye and told him, it's okay, I've killed 4 like you. Okay, kill me, man. Fuck off. Right? And then look beyond what is death to see what is there now. To see it. There is nothing. To see it and experience it. Like my whole life flashed in front of it. 3 times it has happened. The whole life. It's like a photo album, you know, you have in your hand. And you go like that all your life, entire life in photographs, each photograph having channels of videos. Whole life. Flash.
Wow.
Like that. It's a flash. It's beyond time. There is
Yes.
no time. It doesn't happen in a microsecond or a 1 second or a 10 seconds or whatever. Just happens. Tuck.
Just happens.
So,
ऐसे snap
yes,
करके
there have
ही।
been lot of out of control chaos.
मुझे
which
ना वो
has
feeling
come
आ
like
रही है।
that, come suddenly, come without warning, and got out of it, yeah, and safe.
Wow.
So, except the last one.
Well, guys, I'm sorry we had to cut the conversation at that part. There is a part 2 to this conversation that's coming up very, very soon. More of this legend's mindset, more of this legend's stories. And that part 2 of this conversation is going to be about what Major Vivek Jacob is up to at this stage of his life. Some very, very special work that this man and his team are doing in the world. I hope you enjoy part 2 just as much.
Just wow.
So much interesting, like intense. आप क्या बोलूंगी मैं तो
I mean,
मैं तो
यहाँ पे लेजेंड वर्ड यूज किया रणवीर इलाहाबादिया ने, तो आई मीन सीरियसली लेजेंड ही है। सीरियसली मैं बोलूंगी, मुझे ना वो उरी का विकी कौशल जब बोले थे ना कि मैं सबको मार के मेरे सारे गाइस को लेके मैं आऊंगा, कोई किसी को भी चोट नहीं आएगा, वही डायलॉग ना मुझे याद आ गया जो उरी में विकी कौशल ने बोला था। वही यहाँ पे मेजर विवेक जेकब सर है। वही मतलब आई मीन मे बी ये लोग भी बताते हैं ये कि मूवीज में जो दिखाते हैं कि मतलब जाके बॉम्ब मार के चले आते हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता है। प्लान्स लगता है, कुछ मंथ्स भी लग जाता है वो प्लान एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए। ये सब हम लोग जो पॉडकास्ट देखे हैं तो हम लोग ये सुने हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे पूरा लास्ट में जो कुछ मिनट का जो बताया ना, यहाँ पे जो कॉन्वर्सेशन हुआ, मुझे सिर्फ वो उरी का ही याद आ रहे थे। मुझे लगा पूरा मूवी है, पूरा मूवी है ना। जस्ट ऑसम। आई मीन कितना कॉन्फिडेंटली बोला, कितना प्राउडली बोले हैं यहाँ पे।
मैं एक बात बोलूं, इससे हम लोग को ना एक मोटिवेशन मिलता है। मतलब हम लोग का माइंडसेट इतना वीक होता है, सच में। हम लोग छोटे छोटे बात पे हम लोग हार्ट ब्रोक हो जाता है हम लोग का, ठीक है। बहुत सारे माइंड में ख्याल आते हैं एंड हम लोग बहुत वीक हो जाते हैं। तो हम लोग को इन सब से एक मोटिवेशन मिलता है कि ये लोग कितना मतलब टफ होता है। लाइक 3 to 6 months जितने भी इन लोग का ट्रेनिंग चलता है, ये लोग कितना मेंटली फिजिकली इतना स्ट्रांग हो जाता है, इतना स्ट्रांग हो जाता है कि लाइक जो कुछ मतलब मुझे ना कुछ वर्ड नहीं आ रहा है कि मैं इस पे क्या बोलूंगी, मुझे समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है। बिकॉज मैं जब उनके बारे में सुनी ना, और एक पैरा एसएफ थे जो उस टाइम पे जो हर्ट हो गए थे एंड उनका जो हील मतलब वो इंज्योर हो गया था, तो उस टाइम पे मैं जब उनका मैं बात सुनी थी ना, लाइक इनका जब बोलते हैं ना ये लोग जो यहाँ पे मेजर जेकब सर हैं,
लोग तो रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस बताते हैं।
जब वो बोल रहे हैं ना, उसी में आपका वो एनर्जी फील होगा, है ना। जो एनर्जी वहां पे वो लोग देते हैं, उनका बातों में वो फील होगा। एंड उनके बारे में जब बोला ना कि इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग वो कैसे रहे,
क्योंकि देखो, क्योंकि उनके आंखों के सामने वो जो हुआ ना, वो तो रियल में हुआ ना, तो वो वही इमेज उनके आंखों के सामने चल रहा था, तो वो इसीलिए ऐसे बोल पाए क्योंकि उनका एक्सपीरियंस है।
हाँ,
ऐसा स्टोरी नहीं है, ये
बिल्कुल।
बिल्कुल
और
रियल
मैं
लाइफ में हुआ है,
हाँ
तो वो
हाँ
इतने अच्छे से बता भी सकते हैं।
हाँ, लेकिन हाँ, और मैं एक बात बोलूंगी, जब आपके सामने सोचो कि कुछ आपके सामने इंसिडेंट हो गया, मतलब मैं जनरली बोल रही हूँ कि आपके सामने कुछ इंसिडेंट हो गया, उस टाइम में आप अकेले हो उस सिचुएशन हैंडल करने के लिए, तो आप में एक अंदर से हिम्मत आ ही जाती है कि अभी मैं ही हूँ यहाँ पे, तो मुझे ही करना है
मुझे
ये
करना है।
चीज।
ये तो बिल्कुल सही है। अगर अकेले हो इस सिचुएशन में, अंदर से कैसे भी करके वो हिम्मत आ जाता है कि यहाँ पे हम लोग, मतलब मैं ही हूँ यहाँ पे, तो मुझे इसका सोल्यूशन निकालना पड़ेगा।
एंड यहाँ पे वो एक टीम लीडर थे, जितने भी टीम में
हाँ।
5-6 जन जितने भी उनके टीम में थे, तो उनका मतलब एक तो उन लोग का जो बॉन्डिंग है, जो लव है ना,
Brotherhood।
पहले ट्रस्ट आता है, उसके बाद फिर लव आता है, जो बोले ना, तो वो बहुत अच्छा बात बोले हैं। तो वो लोग साथ में रहते हैं, ना जूनियर ना सीनियर, मतलब वो लोग इक्वली इसको मेंटेन करते हैं, ब्रदरहुड मेंटेन करते हैं, एक प्यार उन लोग के में, एक बॉन्डिंग उन लोग के बीच में रहता है, जो उन लोग को और स्ट्रांग बनाती है, उनके टीम को और स्ट्रांग बनाती
यस।
है ना। एंड जब आप मतलब उसमें वो लोग देख रहे हैं कि कोई बाई चांसली इंज्योर हो गया, तो उसको तो छोड़ के नहीं आ सकते हैं,
कभी
ऑब्वियसली।
नहीं आ सकते हैं।
हाँ, तो ये चीज जो
यही तो आर्मी में सिखाते हैं ना, मतलब अपने
बिल्कुल
पूरे टीम को लेके आपको आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा। अगर अकेले आ गए तो मतलब आप भी पूरा कैंसिल ही कर देते हैं ना। वो ट्रेनिंग में ही इन लोगों को सिखाते हैं कि आप, अगर आप अकेले आ गए और आपके टीम को छोड़ के आ गए आप, तो आपका पूरा वो सक्सेस होना ही, पूरा सक्सेस कभी नहीं हो सकता ऐसे।
ऐसा। सो दिस इज अमेजिंग। मुझे तो सिर्फ मेरे माइंड में बस यही चल रहा था कि ये एक मतलब ये इससे हम लोग को एक मोटिवेशन मिलता है,
सीख भी मिलता
सीख
है।
मिलता है, यू नो, मतलब वो लोग कितना हार्ड वर्क करते हैं, कितना हार्ड वर्क, लाइक उन लोग का बॉडी वैसे तैयार हो जाता है कि ना,
बताएं कैसे
खाने का भी टाइम नहीं
हाँ।
है,
वो
सोने
मतलब
को भी नहीं मिलता
क्या
है।
होता है, खाने का टाइम नहीं है, ऐसा क्यों होता है? क्योंकि मतलब अगर आप खाते, मतलब खाओगे ना, तो आपका माइंड मतलब कि बहुत स्लो हो जाता है। And क्या वो जो आपका जो ट्रेनिंग रहता है पूरा दिन, वो ना आप बैठ के अगर खाने आराम से खाने जाओ ना, तो वो ट्रेनिंग पूरा चला जाता है अंदर से।
लाइक नहीं, खुद को तो रेडी करना पड़ेगा ना
हाँ,
नेक्स्ट डे के लिए।
इसीलिए वो क्वेश्चन उस टाइम, अगर खाने के टाइम अगर
लाइक
आप
माइंड चलता रहे, माइंड वर्क करता रहे,
वही
ये
मैं बोलने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, मतलब माइंड ना बंद ना हो जाए, माइंड स्लो ना हो जाए, माइंड लेजी ना हो
लाइक
जाए।
पूरा
वो खाते खाते भी आपका माइंड अगर आप फिजिकली भी बॉडी को यूज नहीं कर रहे हो, तो बट माइंड को यूज करना पड़ता है, माइंड को
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
कंटिन्यूअसली
बिकॉज वहां पे
एक्टिव रखते हैं।
बिकॉज वहां पे माइंड गेम ही चलता है, लेकिन उस टाइम पे आपके साथ कोई नहीं होता है, सिर्फ आपका 4-5 लोगों का टीम होता है, एंड वहां पे जो सिचुएशन होता है उसके बेसिस पे आपको वर्क करना पड़ता है, तो इसलिए माइंड हमेशा
एक बात जो है, मतलब यहाँ जो भी वॉर होता है, जो भी होता है, वो जो सिचुएशन, डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन होता है, उस टाइम पे आप फिजिकली वो मे भी गन यूज कर सकते हो, मतलब जो होता है फिजिकली जो रहता है बॉडी से, जो आप जो यूज करते हो, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत पड़ता है माइंड का।
बिल्कुल
क्योंकि माइंड आपको मतलब ऐसे ही बताएंगे जो क्या करना पड़ेगा, वो बताए ना, इंस्टिंक्ट होते हैं
हाँ।
जो यहाँ पे इंस्टिंक्ट, हम लोग अब ये करना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ेगा, ये होने वाला है, वो होने वाला है, ये माइंड, क्योंकि माइंड को ट्रेनिंग कर देते हैं ना,
बिल्कुल।
तो माइंड जब ट्रेंड हो जाता है, तो माइंड ऑटोमेटिकली आपको बोलना शुरू कर देते हैं, अभी क्या होने वाला है, क्या सिचुएशन है,
Exactly.
क्या हो सकता है।
ये तो कंप्लीटली वो लोग उस ट्रेनिंग में वो उन लोग का ऐसे उन लोग प्रिपेयर होते हैं मेंटली फिजिकली कि मतलब ऐसा होता है बॉडी की एक रॉक हो जाता है
ट्रू
ना, पूरा मतलब सब कुछ छोड़ के सिर्फ
वही
अपना
बताया ना,
काम करना।
ट्रेनिंग में ऐसा ट्रेनिंग देते हैं कि मतलब आपको मतलब तोड़ के रख देते हैं,
हाँ बिल्कुल, मतलब
जोड़ने के टाइम भी नहीं देते हैं, वो कंटिन्यूअसली तोड़ते ही रहेंगे, मतलब
हाँ।
वो जो जितना दिन का ट्रेनिंग होता है पूरे दिन, मतलब वो आपको वो कंटिन्यूअसली तोड़ते ही रहेंगे, जोड़ने का टाइम नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी टाइम नहीं है।
बिल्कुल भी टाइम नहीं, किसी के बारे में सोचने का भी टाइम नहीं है।
Yes.
मतलब कोई भी सिचुएशन के बारे में सोचने का टाइम नहीं है, सिर्फ आपको अपना जॉब, अपना काम, अपना कैसे इसको कैसे एक
कैसे training
काम करना है, बस वही।
और एक बात बोला गया कि मतलब जितना भी ट्रेनिंग कर लो, जो अगर आप रियल लाइफ में वो अगर एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करते हो तो आपका ट्रेनिंग में भी आपके साथ रहेगा, लेकिन रियल लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस होना पड़ता है। कॉम्बैट में जो बताया ना, कॉम्बैट में जाना पड़ता है, तो उस टाइम पे आप रियल एक्सपीरियंस करते हो।
तो ये तो उन लोग को करना ही पड़ता है, उन लोग का जॉब ही वो लोग यही जॉब चूज करते हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली उनका जॉब ही यही है कि वैसा सिचुएशन उनके लाइफ में आएगा ही। सो लाइक ये बहुत 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 इंटरेस्टिंग एक पॉडकास्ट था, एंड
ये माइंड टूज बहुत
इंटरेस्टिंग था, माइंड ब्लोइंग था, स्पीचलेस था। मतलब आप कुछ भी बोलो, बस आप सुनते रहोगे ना तो उसमें आप घुस जाओगे। ऐसा सो
मैं ना देखती रही, मतलब सिर्फ देखती ही रही, बीच बीच में मैं मतलब क्या बोलूंगी मैं ये सोच रही थी।
मैंने बोलने का भी मैं समझ ही नहीं, मैं क्या
करना है,
बस मिस नहीं करना, मैं बोलूंगी तो भाई मिस ना हो जाए, ऐसा तो ऐसे वीडियो पे अलग ही एक मजा आता है इस पे रिएक्ट करना, इस तरह के वीडियो पे। सो बहुत अच्छा लगा हम लोग को। गाइस, आप लोग को कैसा लगा आप हमें कमेंट में जरूर बताइएगा। अगर यहाँ तक वीडियो देखे हैं, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग आवर वीडियो। आपको अच्छा लगा, लाइक कर दो, शेयर कर दो, सब्सक्राइब कर दो हमारे चैनल को। ओरिजिनल वीडियो की लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी, जरूर से आके चेकआउट कर लीजिएगा। एंड गाइज, हमारे और 2 रिएक्शन चैनल्स हैं जिसका भी लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगी, वो भी चेकआउट कर लीजिएगा। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, बाय।